Hello, 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 hello. How is everybody? How's it going there? Zachy, how's it going there? FS, what's happening, guys? So back here in the career game, try to get some more money. So quickly, just gonna head over to Spa Cakes, and I'm gonna see what we have for containers over there. If we have containers over there, I'm going to go ahead and we'll take a container. Take the mini truck. The mini truck almost fits in the plane. Even though it's 7 wide, the plane is 7 wide, it will not. So let's go ahead and get going here. Make sure my game volume's up a little bit. There we go. Some sort of fox, it appears. I do like the wintertime aesthetic. It's kind of cool to have a little bit of a different aesthetic going on right now. So we'll head over here, see if there's a container. If there is not, we will go do something else. Theoretically, we could do coal runs too. I need to grind up some cash. Military base is kind of one of the keys to unlocking some money, so I'd like to buy that at some point. It does sound like they added a little bit of a different engine sound. People have been talking about that. Now, I've never had any issues with the engine sound. A lot of people were complaining about the engine sound because they run at like 60 RPS, which is insanity anyway. So, yeah, they definitely changed the engine sounds. I think they sound good. Usually, that sort of stuff doesn't really bother me anyway because it's like you can kind of almost tune it by how much RPS you put on your engine. Let's see, Sawyer South, it's north. You're in freight. Give us a Komodo, please. Definitely some new ones that we didn't have here before. JSI. Source South. Expired. Source North. Yeah, looks like we don't have any we can use here. That is fine. Alright, so maybe we could take a trip up to the mine with the scraper. And go get a load of coal. Really like to buy a Honda Acti mini truck IRL, but they're kind of cool. After 20 years, you can get the mini trucks imported to the U.S. They have a bunch of companies that import them and register them because it's kind of a pain to register them. So let's see. All right, let's see. We could take the scraper up. I think we'll do that. Be a little bit of mining would be nice. Change of pace. I just need to make sure it's working. Scraper, skip. Which one do I want? I think it's this one. Yeah, I think it's this one. Let me look inside. Yeah, probably this one. I haven't tested this one since, a bunch of stuff, but we will give this a run and see. So. Ooh, that's 91 grand. That's a lot of money. What's in there? I don't have... Make sure I don't have coal in here. Yeah, that's 91 grand. This thing's expensive. This sucker be expensive. So let's see. I don't know what makes this so expensive. But I don't want to put all the money on the table either, so that's kind of freaky deaky. That. Okay, it looks like it's clear. Let's see. What do we have money-wise? That's right in the money. If that flips over, I can't spawn anything to fix it, so I don't think we're going to do that. Let's see. I won't cheat and sell diesel for more money right there. I wish they'd fix some of like the surge prices and stuff. That'd be kind of cool. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, this is the that's our little floating buoy doing its good works. I want to do something a little different, but I also don't want to see what I want to do here. Could fly down, and there's no real rush to it, but let's go ahead and we'll keep doing what I've been doing with the airplane. We moving some fuel is gonna get us some money, so let's just do that for right now. I must have infinite electricity on. I do. Okay, let's shut that off. So we'll head back over to Dreammore. We'll take the plane down. It would have been nice if we had a container. I want to use some of the container trucks from the challenge. But we don't have a container right now. We'll go ahead and maybe get some different bases. Decide what else we can do. We could sleep and get a mission. That's possible. Maybe we'll do that. Let's just do that. I need to test out the... sorry, guys, I'm all over the place here. I'm decided what I want to do. I wanted to do a container, but we just don't have any, so kind of restricted by that. What I think we'll do is we'll take a nap and we will get a mission near here. I think no clip is off. No clip's off. And we'll take the sub out if it's a sea-based mission. Because I need to kind of wrap that sub up. I have a couple days left, but I kind of want to move on from that. So do the final little wrap up on the submarine, I think, today. Trying to get that done. Oh, shit. I hit the bottom. Get that wrapped up, and hopefully if we get far enough away from base, we'll start to get some of these containers to spawn in. Yeah, we just don't have any containers for anywhere right now, so... Industrial Frontier is a little bit easier for those container missions. Anyway. Alright. So let's go ahead, we'll head down, we'll take a nap, and we will try to get some new missions. Nice thing with the mineral over there, that's probably an easy place to dump coal. Could do the coal, but I do want to wrap this submarine up as well. And we're right on the hairy edge there. It's like we have like 7 grand left. If I had an issue, we'd be in trouble. So, get a mission. Speedster, request assistance, transponder. Let's see. Yeah, we could take the sub out. We don't have a we don't have a transponder, so that's not gonna work. Let's continue waiting for a better mission here. I don't have a transponder locator on the submarine. Two casualties, donk. Alright, so that's close to where we are. Let's check it. Alright, good. So they're right there. Alright, let's see what I want to take for a vehicle. Maybe I'll take Rijot because that was from the first career build series and somebody was trying to use it the other day and it hasn't been updated in forever, so let's see. So we'll try out Rijot, see if, make sure everything's running in this properly. This was my first career build series rescue ship, so. Oh, we got another repair. We got another mission, or did it just populate? Okay, repair critical. Okay, so that's fine. We're apparently just popped up that mission part of it. All right, the drinky poo. Get up in there, son. Get up in there, son. Stop your nonsense. Stop your nonsense, sir. All right. Yeah, I forget what the person's comment is. I'll check out the person's comment because they were trying to use this, and I have a more updated version of Rijot anyway, so. I have to keep an eye on temps here, but I will manually check the temps, so. What is that falling out of the sky there? Looks like the refueling plane. We do have a transponder on this one, so I could have theoretically taken this out there, but this is nice and fast. We're doing 46 knots, so keep an eye on these temps. Temps look good right now. This had no cooling problems before, but I assume it's raw water cooling, which is currently not working well. Yeah, it looks like raw water cooling, so if need be, I will shut off engine overheating. I'll keep an eye on it. You know, most systems you should put a overheat protection system on so that if it is going to catch on fire, it will shut the engine off first. That tends to be the best method. You don't want stuff just catching on fire all the time, you know. Get killed, you know, it hurts your vehicles. It's better for the engine to die and you just, you know, don't have an engine than to actively, you know, catch on fire and be up shit's creek. So, all right, where's the bearing? 347. Okay. So it's over here more. Right there. Okay. So this is nice and fast. See how the temp handles. How's it going there? Citrus. Yep, Brijo's back. So apparently this version is working. Somebody on the workshop was having issues. I have not released this most recent version. I will update that at some point. But Brijo works really well. This was a really good, versatile craft. I like the tugboat, but the tugboat is, if you remember from the most current career build series, the tugboat, it started out faster, and then I slowed it down so that it was better at towing. Because, you know, again, that's the whole thing with gearing is, you know, and boats don't shift gears, so I'm kind of a stickler for that myself, so I don't shift gears in the boat, so it's not like I have a tow gear and never have a high-speed gear. Kind of set up to be what they are. Because, you know, a lot of that is impacted by, you'd have propeller diameter, IRL, so it's like, you're not just changing gears anyways, you'd have to change propeller diameter. I would love it if they give us variable pitch propellers in boats, because you can instantly go forward and reverse, so it allows you to do some really cool maneuvering. A new boat at some point would be kind of cool. We have the next build challenge is going to be sea-based. I haven't even thought about it yet, but you know, so we'll have to see what that's going to be. Maybe it's, I don't know, but don't know what that would be yet. So. All right, there we go. Hopefully the robot vacuum's not loud on the stream. Hello, sir. I think it was 2. We got to repair the boat too. Luckily that these people aren't on fire. As every rescue, it seems, been a bunch of people on fire. So I think their strobe automatically shuts off when they get inside, which is good because I don't want the strobe going off the whole time I'm trying to operate here. We made an attempt to try to stay dry. Just not in the cards. Not in the cards to have stay dry. All right, and we need a torch. Where the hell's the torch? There's an underwater. Let's see, we should have a rig torch somewhere here. Let's see what. Let's grab the underwater for now, and we'll see what's where this damage is. Let me see. I can't remember where anything is on here. Those are rope anchors. I had something up front. I don't know if there's a repair torch. If not, I'll go no clip back because I forgot it. So, right, what's it say to repair? Let's see. Okay, there it is. Rescue 2 casualties. Repair critical damage to the vehicle. Okay, so it doesn't say what it is. All right. We'll take a dive. We'll see what's under there. We'll look around for some damage. The robot vacuum would go away. I'd be thrilled. Could do us a little bit of sneak thievery in here. Good lord, that's a loud bathroom. Okay, back here. Okay, looks like... There we go. Alright, good. So that's repaired. Let this sucker sink. Let's get in there, son. Come on, get up there, son. Get up there, son. Get in the seat. There we go. Right, let's back it out and we'll head to the hospital. Get rid of these people. Did I have a screw down? No, they're good. Okay. Alright, so it's the island with the lighthouse. Let me head out there. So we'll keep an eye on our temperature. people I can't even see. Yeah, they're there. Let me read the chat, huh? Said hi to Citrus. Yeah, I had a little top hat on there. How's it going there, 50? Yeah, I'll keep a little eye on this temp. Yeah, it definitely sounds like change the engine up a little bit. But Rizzo, you know, I played with Rizzo for a long time, you know, and that was, so it got well refined, which was nice. You know, a lot of good refinements on this. That's the nice thing about having a really long build. You start, you know, you do a lot of refinement, but kind of get stuck with it for a little bit. What's the, how are we looking on electricity here? Ooh, electricity's getting low there, son. Don't have a, turn the APU on. Alright, there we go. APU's on, so we're building electricity again. Watch these temps. I'm just going to go ahead and shut off overheating because currently I know this is, this utilizes raw water cooling and that is currently not working the way it should be, so. Again, not going to let the game frustrate me when they're working through these things, you know? Just going to play and enjoy. Alright, nice. So we'll take them up this cliff face here. That tends to be the best way to get up there. No bed here, so we might sleep in that bed, get a couple of these sea-based missions. Nice to get Rizzo back out. We'll keep an eye on this temp. Again, I'm not going to make any big sweeping changes. That's a known issue. That, you know, my hypothesis is the fluid ports are only taking 10 liters per second, which really bonks out any sort of liquid cooling, because even if you did liquid cooling, which is what you should be doing, you know, realistically, it's, you know, you're not going to get good enough flow rates out of those. Like, even using heat sinks, I was getting really terrible flow rates, so we'll see. You know, I'll end up doing some cooling testing in a little bit, but alright, good. So we're here. Let's grab these bad Johnnies here. Excuse me, sir. There we go. This guy's a pain in the ass right here. He's right in front of my door latch, so I can't get him off. That is the APU running. Building up electricity. Let that run and get me some electricity. Rizzo, if you guys haven't seen it before, has a lot of like cool systems like, what the fuck was that? Come on, dude. Rizzo has a lot of cool systems like if it gets water inside, it automatically shuts the doors and pumps it out, so that's some cool stuff, so. A little bit more advanced systems on Rizzo, which is kind of nice. Monday, Christmas hat, man. I would not hate it if there was a loot crate up here because I'm trying to buy military base. That's kind of our key for money right now is selling jet fuel. And, you know, I was going to do some coal, but the scraper cost me like 96,000 to spawn, and we only have, or 92,000 to spawn, and we only have like 98 grand, so a little bit tough on that. Oh, there we go. Blue pickup truck is experiencing mechanical, of course, because I got my boat out. If I had a truck out, you'd give me a boat mission. Let's see, where are we at here? So it's up here on the mainland. Search area, locate the emergency. Let's go up here. We'll find it. It's likely on the road, and we'll do it. And probably take a little trip back here. That would be my guess. It would be some Johnny there. Hi, yeah. Come on, get up there, son. Get up there, son. Checking the engines. It was kind of not reversing correctly earlier. What are we looking at for battery here? We are building batteries, just slow. I don't know what's up with my main battery gen. I gotta watch that. But APU's on, so we will slowly build that battery back up. We'll help it by shutting these lights off. We don't need them. Alright, so it's somewhere up here around the tunnel. So it'll be all the way up there, I think. I think I just saw it. Is that it right there? No, that's the crest of the hill behind it. Somewhere up here, so it's right there. Is where we need to kind of look. So 263, let's see, but yeah. So somewhere in there, we'll take a look. We'll jump up there and we'll see what's up with the truck. We're making some reasonable money. It's just, you know, you need money to make money. What is that in the water? What is that? Is that an animal? A bunny. Bunny rabbits. Goodbye, sir. Goodbye, sir, bunny rabbits. I would scoop you up, but I don't think I can pick them up. So, I would rescue him if I could. That would be, I think, a lowish effort addition that the devs could do is animal rescues. I think that would be something people would enjoy doing. I would love to do animal rescues, you know. Same type of thing, you know, you pick them up, stick them, go rescue them, you know. Yeah, I think that would be a cool thing to do. For example, like, a real cool mission would be, like, have them put, like, a little well in the game. You know, pretty simple. Cut a hole in the map, you know, water in the bottom, drop a mag all down, or you lower yourself down, grab the dog, jump back in the harness, go up. You know, that's something that would be kind of a cool mission, pretty easy to add, I think. That would be kind of a neat little mission. So, alright, we're coming up on that there. One thought I had that would be kind of cool is a home train. So I have my, there it is right there. I have my locomotive. I wouldn't build a new locomotive at this point. I'd just use that. But the to build some cars on it that would like have a car that has a boat, and then as you come up to one of these bridges, you could just essentially crane the boat over the side. Same thing with a car. Unload the car, go do the mission, and the train kind of always moves. You know. One thing I started building a little off screen that I want to do is a self-propelled crane. That would be kind of cool, so that if we have to do some of these recovery missions, this is going to be a pain in the ass to get up there. If we have to do some recovery missions, that we have a mobile crane that we can utilize to do that. So that's on the to-do list, I think. So a bunch of cool things. Yeah, more container types, like Bruce says, that would be cool. What I would love to see is, I showed you guys when I built the tug system. My pallets are kind of like air cans on, for cargo transport, and it'd be nice if they would give us some small pallets like that that go from airport to airport, because that would make airplanes pretty useful. Right now, airplanes are not all that useful, and I really would love them to do a pass where they make it so that airplanes are more useful to us. That would be something that was really cool, because, you know, we get those transport missions, but, you know, the game is very much stuck in a meta. Oh, shit. Okay. I will no-clip if this gets hairy, so. I will no-clip if this gets hairy. But, you know, we have this meta of helicopter VTOL everything, and I hate metas. It makes it so that we have some really cool airports, and they're pretty useless as airports. You know, I bring in, you know, off-field airplanes like bush planes and stuff like that all the time, but like innately in the game they make it tough to use airplanes, you know, and it's a, you know, actually you can make some really good airplanes in game. It would be nice if they would do some transport, you know, passenger from this airport to this airport, so that you don't have to have a VTOL everywhere. Same thing with cargo. Have a standardized cargo container for airplanes that is narrower, like, you know, mine is. Okay, and that was a hell of a jump there, son. you know, is standardized for. Did it say repair? I don't think it did. I think I should rescue these bad Johnnies. Yeah, just rescue them. Okay. Um, you know, have standardized cargo containers so that you load it, you know, from the airport onto your plane, and then you fly it over to the other one, unload it. You know, that would be really cool. That gets you into things like, you know, my little tug where you're starting to try to move it, forklifts, stuff like that. It would be really cool. And it would give airplanes some more use. You know, I would love to see, for example, you know, I'm not a huge, like, I don't need a ton of story, but a lot of people have been asking for more, you know, in-depth missions. Like, multi-part missions would be kind of cool. Like, oh, we rescued these 2 people. We bring them to the hospital. Then later, a mission pops up and says, hey, the 2 people you brought to that hospital are not doing well. There's a new experimental treatment up at the Arctic hospital. Is this... If you're not following me, oh my god. You prick. What a prick. There's a new experimental treatment up at the Arctic hospital. Take them down, you know, take them up there for treatment. And so, you know, that makes it so that, you know, if you want to take a helicopter, of course you could, but it's more reasonable to take an airplane. You know, take an airplane up, despawn the airplane, spawn you know, a land vehicle, and drive them to the hospital. You know, things like that I think would be really cool. It would add some variety. It would add some new interest. Come on, jackass. All right. All right. Where is this? Okay, good. I was like, that prick didn't follow me. I'm gonna slap him. Yep, it's Fridays tomorrow. We got it was update week this last week, so it'll probably be announcement week. Yeah, and then you'll have Complainer Central for the standard people who won't be happy with anything. All right, there we go. Look at us. We're all healed up. We're all healthy now. Yeah, see, temp's still high. I'm gonna just wait until they kind of figure out what they're doing with the fixing some of this cooling. Like, you know, I said the other day, I have no problem with them being like, no more raw water cooling, you know. And all they really have to do is make scaling come back up. Now, I'm not saying that's why they do some of these things, but, like, you know, part of it is the ability to build your own systems is kind of the point of the game. So doing something where it kind of almost restricts you to having to actually build a liquid system instead of just doing raw water cooling and wrecking your engine. Yeah. I'm just going to be quiet here for a second and answer a message while I'm headed to the old hospital. All right, let's grab these Bad Johnnies. Come on there, Bad Johnny 1. Come on, Bad Johnny 2. All right. Can you follow me? I like the eye patch and the cupcake hats. Very interesting. Real characters here. Yeah, but I always like the updates. Even when it's announcement week, it's nice. You know, it's the breathless, constant negativity of some people is kind of, it's kind of always a downer in that shit. But I kind of just brush them off as they're not playing the game anyway. I don't really care. But it's nice to hear from the devs. There are some devs that are really good devs who just you never hear from, and it's nice to, even if you're not getting much in the way of fixes or updates or new stuff, it's nice to just hear, that they're working and that, and that they're also working on the game, Ooh, there we go. So even when it's announcement week, so that's nice, And it's more info, it's always nice to have more info, you can do with it what you want, it's like, hearing their plans for what's going on, and so it's, I doubt they'll do it now, but like, as we get closer to, they said there's going to be 4 major updates for next year, which tracks with normal progress for what they, oh shit, you son of a bitch, which is pretty normal, but 4 majors a year, and, not that they'll probably do any sort of hints this early on, but like, that's the sort of thing, is like little hints coming up, that stuff is always kind of fun, it keeps you interested. When I watched the GTA 6 trailer and did a react video on it the other day, and my favorite GTA game was Vice City, and that's what this is going to be, is, the new Vice City, essentially. And the one really cool thing was back during when Vice City was first coming out, they would, like years before the game even came out, they had a website. And it was a fake travel website, and it would have pictures from in-game. So, like, back in the day, you used to have travel agents, And you go to, like, their office, and they'd have pictures of all these destinations. They'd set up things to do. And so it was like a travel agent website for Vice City. And so every week, you would tune in to see what the new screenshot was from Grand Theft Auto. And there's a present, baby. Ooh, money. And that was really cool. And so it's like, even just the announcement week, I think is good. One of my favorite, it is my favorite VR game is VTOL VR, which is fantastic. It's a great game, but I think it's one person pretty much makes that game. I think he had help with some of the parts, but it's pretty much just him doing it. And so understandably, he doesn't do too much talking to the community. But it might be months and months and months before you get any sort of even update. And so just having a dev that checks in with you every week is refreshing. And so it's, it shows that they're trying to pay attention to the community, which I think is awesome, Even if it's not the most interesting information or what you wanted to hear, it's like, oh, devs are working on it. This wasn't an update for me, but it was kind of, it's something. All right, so let's head back. That was helpful for money. I got two 12,000 or about 13 grand, I think. I think they were like 2 6500s. So just the presence alone was helpful. Kind of keeping the weather in the day nice. Just especially dark, because it's kind of hard to stream in the dark. And keep the weather nice for now. Kind of enjoying the. I'm enjoying the wintry weather here. It's kind of nice. Try to get a new screenshot. I always use the wrong key. I always use yesterday's screenshot essentially for today's video, and so I try to update it later and put on something from today's video. But I am going to try to get that starter boat out on the workshop. That's it's pretty much done. I do want to look at cooling though. I don't want to release it until because it's raw water cooling. So it does not have a overheat protection system. I'd kind of like to get that. make sure that's running before I get it out. So I want to get that out, but I want to see what they do, because if I have to make some small edits, I want to do that first. Like right here, as you can see, we would have overheated. This used to not overheat, so it's very much the fluid port flow rate. We used to be able to get 75 up, 75 down, so this would work with that flow rate. Now that we only are getting 10 liters per second, it's just not enough flow rate to cool us off. So I doubt we got a container spawn. We'll move bases. We'll get out of here. We'll head down south, and we'll head to Industrial Frontier. We might see if there are some containers to move there. I want to get some of those containers going. How's it going there, Tanup? So Frigeo's still working really well. Again, just the cooling issue on that, so I won't bother updating this until figure out what's going to be kind of the more finalized cooling. You know, I wanted to do some coal just because, you know, what I would do is take the scraper up in the mountain, fill it, and then come down and dump it in spy cakes. But there's really no point right now because there could be a point, but it's really close on money. I want to get a little bit less tight on money. Yeah, because the nice thing is being able to store it in the base. I can just put it right in there, and then either use a truck or use a train to get it to spy cakes to sell. What's that in the water? Some sort of elk? A reindeer? Looks like a reindeer. Why did I get hurt? Something hurt me there. It was as I was despawning, so it wouldn't surprise me if it was just some artifact from that. Oh, it was something happened when I despawned. It didn't like it and hurt me. Okay, so see all these despawned, all the expired ones. So that was we were gone long enough to get a refresh on these. So that's the other question I see sometimes on Reddit and stuff is people like, oh, I'm not getting new containers. Oh, there we go. There's a Komodo. I often wonder if people are not leaving far enough. If they're staying close to their base, you know, they may not be getting a refresh on the containers. You kind of, you know, you don't want a game that pops things in and out. Like, for example, like Tarkov, you know, they keep it so that you don't see when the scavs spawn in. They'll spawn in behind some obstacles or something, so you don't actually see them. And that's kind of nice. All right, so let's see. We'll grab... let's see. We'll do Citrus's first. I cut off... Citrus told me I cut off some of the back, which makes sense when I did the trailer. So, make sure I don't cut off now. Hopefully Citrus here shit doesn't cost too much money. I was just thinking, I'm like, oh crap, I only have 100 grand. Usually this stuff, like, some people will use so many HUDs that everything costs like $1 million. And it's like... So I know Citrus usually doesn't do that, but there's a bunch of sometimes some people's builds are like, oh, only 100 grand. I'm like, dude, I don't think I have anything that costs 100 grand except like Triton. Yeah, I cut off this on Citrus's build earlier. Right. That's not bad. 40 grand total. Nice. Alright, so this is Captain's favorite from the Build Challenge Hotel. Probably need light cords, huh? Yeah, let's do light cord. Need power on? Probably need power on, right? So just... Let's see. What's going on? Oh, the breaker right here. There we go. Alright, we're good now. I remember... Alright, there we go. Put a little slack in that. Crank the gear up. Hopefully Citrus is here right now. There we go. Alright, good. So I really like this one. This is my favorite. Really well done on the Scania. Let's see. Release parking brake. Release trailer brake. Alright, let's go ahead and... Proper gearbox on this one. Manual, beautiful. I like a tractor trailer as well. we'll take that camo dough over to camo dough. We'll see if we can get back. I really like that rim color. That rim color is really cool on both the tractor and the trailer. I think it was the blue one on the corner there. So the trailer's on the short side, so it's a little tough to back up. Jack likes to jackknife, but we'll see if I can get it with my mirror here. Okay, so I'm lining up with my mirror. Problem is, of course, that's right on the ocean side too. I really don't want to knock it off. I can see I'm good as I am now, but I want to be careful I don't run off the edge here. I have not built that crane truck yet. It'd be kind of cool. I might work on that today, that crane. I start to jackknife this. There we go. Go back, tractor trailer. Gotta do it all in the mirror. So yeah, this is a good testament to the gearbox in this truck. Is like I can in-game look in the mirror and I can reverse what is a reasonably short trailer, and we should be about on the money here. We're gonna bump it right there. So let's take a look at it. Should be pretty close here. So let's look. If I was able to get that right on the money, which I was, using the mirror, that means that the transmission is nice and smooth, and I can get it right where it needs to be. So that was, you know, that's really good work on that. And the mirrors are usable, which is nice. So let's see, carriage connector release. Okay. So that was about perfect, you know. Yeah, I was wondering what you were saying there, Tana. I thought that might be what you're saying. Yeah, like I like these reflectors. There, good detailing on those. Hopefully Citrus is here. Citrus went and took a break while we're doing his vehicle. Alright, so let's see. Carrier connector release. Let's just see if these are released. I can't remember. Release connector true. Let's go ahead and we'll go like that. There we go. All right, now I'm just going to back up a little to grab the other one. So we'll completely jackknife this. So do a full sweep on our wheels and then go in reverse. Brakes. There we go. Nice. Nice and easy there. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll put it back in neutral. But I really like the detail on this door. Having that little pocket in the door is really cool too. Let's go. Yeah, one thing, like, I wish more people didn't do this. Like, I understand why, you know, the kind of the gamification of it, but it's like hanging a container like that is a little bit funky to me. But, you know, really good mechanisms. You know, that was, people did some really good mechanism designs on these. All right, carrier connector release, that's good. Okay, that's going to lock up there. Let me just check, see, make sure these gripper brakes grab. Okay, there's no brake on that. All right, nice. So that is all hooked up. We're ready to go. So, nice. Close that bad Johnny up. Let's go, and let's get out of here, people. But this will get a nice test on a nice long drive here, so. Up, don't cut the corner. Okay, I can't see. IRL, I can look out my mirror. I can look out my window, rather. That's one thing you'll notice. A lot of trailer drivers spend half the time hanging out of that left window to help watch the load. You know, when they're reversing. And then you always want to look left and check your trailer as you cut the corner. You want to check your mirror, you know, to make sure you're not going to sideswipe something with the trailer. I'm just going to the right side here because it's a little less of a crazy bump, but I think we don't have any problem with this. We'll check out Hell Hill here. Hell Hill is hell. So this hill up here on Donk is really pretty tough. So that's usually a good testament to you know, how well your build came along if you're able to get up that hill. It is quite a tough hill. So you know, manual transmission here. I'm downshifting. I'm able to control my speed with my transmission, like dropping that gear. I was limited. I couldn't go any faster than where I was, you know, and that's, you know, real life tractor trailers right now, or tractors, are going to automatics, and I hate them with a passion. They're constantly doing the stuff that I complain about they do in games. So it's not like people are making them wrong, they're making them right. It's just they're miserable because, like, you need to stay, you want to stay in that lower gear as you come to the hill, and it upshifts you, and you're like, dude, I don't want to upshift, I want to stay in gear. And you know, it's stuff like that. There are ways you can keep some of them in gear. You can go into manual mode, but it's obnoxious where, you know, a manual in a tractor is very nice. You know, if some of the princess rigs that stay on the highway all the time and they don't ever go off-road, yeah, it makes sense to have an automatic. Just because, you know, you're sitting in traffic all the time and you're always on the highway. But even then, like, they'll do silly things. Like, there was, we call them the Twins in Connecticut. They're really tall hills. And, like, you know, the speed limit's 65. We could do maybe 45 up these because they were so steep. And so you would purposefully, I'm just going to be careful I don't slide down this hill here. I missed the turn, and normally it's green. I can see the contour of the hill. With the white, I can't see the contour. So anyway, so it's like when you're going up those hills, you need to make your gear shifts correctly so you don't lose too much speed, or you'll be going like 30 miles an hour. So you have to shift correctly, and the automatics would keep trying to upshift you, and eventually you'd be going 30 miles an hour in the automatic because it would keep trying to upshift you, and it's a pain in the ass. So it's, even in real life, you know, with $400,000 tractors, the automatics suck, you know. So it's why I prefer a manual. It lets you as a professional choose what gear you should be in. So, like, I have very limited desire at all in automatic anything. Even in game, it's like, you know, too many opportunities where it's like I want to pick my speed and my gear and, you know, stuff like that. How's it going there, Jigger? Hopefully Citrus is here. He's being quiet if he sees me testing his truck. But he could always rewatch it. We're gonna do a trip back probably as well. We don't own Komodo, so hopefully there's a container sitting in a Komodo we can take back. I hate it when it's a one-way trip. Especially this one is only worth $2,000, so it's not a lot of money. But if we get to like a 5 on the other end, it starts to make it worth my while to do. And here we go, nice highway section. I didn't get a chance to test any of these out in the highway. And that was a big part of the challenge, was the course. The course was very, you know, steep, you know, and some people were building some, they were building some road trucks that didn't have any off-road capability, and so having some hit bumpers and stuff like that, which is fine, but it's just, you know, it's important to kind of see the course. You know, if it was a very road biased course, you know, you could do a little bit more low bumpers, stuff like that. More aero work. Alright, so we are currently going 107 kilometers an hour. I think we're in top gear. We're in top gear. Very smooth on the highway. This is nice. You know, I don't feel like, see, I can steer here a little bit. I'm doing max 80, 80, 80, and because I would assume Citrus put a stability system in there, it's very nice and restrained, you know, and that's all because of the gyroscopic forces, you know, and momentum. You know, the truck is big and it's heavy. It doesn't want to change direction very quickly, you know. Yeah, Scania is really cool here. I love Scania. Of course, we don't have any in the U.S., unfortunately, but You know, this is always the model of Scania that I really liked. I do like the one with the hood just because it's a little bit goofy looking, but this is, I think, my favorite model of Scania. So, really nice looking. Transmission works really well. Like, you can barely hear the engine, which is, you know, which tells you some things that likely this is not going to burn an insane amount of fuel, you know, and that's, you know, I don't know what it was. There was somebody in the hotfix that came out the other day that was like, oh, when are they going to fix fuel? Or no, it was on Reddit. Like, when are they going to fix fuel consumption? I'm like, fuel consumption? I've literally heard nothing about fuel consumption. But, you know, fuel consumption really isn't all that bad in game. It's you just, you know, it's usually you need to make sure you build your engine correctly and your transmission so that you're not burning excessive amounts of fuel. You know, but you can make some really super efficient stuff. You know, like that submarine, you know, I could go an incredible distance in the submarine and, you know, really good. Let's get some oil out here. Let's go some really far distances in the submarine and have no problem, you know. Wonder why the hell I have oil here. Don't know. It would be nice if the devs would put in an oil cleanup. You know, there are a bunch of people who like to just blow up C4 in their boat. Well, it's not my preferred method of gaming. There's nothing wrong with it, you know. It's a valid game strategy, and it, you know, I can imagine it probably gets frustrating when their whole world's covered in oil. That, you know, it is their fault for blowing stuff up, but they should be able to play how they want. And so, you know, the answer is kind of, you know, put in a button that you can just clear oil. You know, for those people, they're probably not playing career anyway. You know, so put it in the custom menu. Yeah, put it in the custom menu. That's all you need to do. Put it in the custom menu that's clean up all oil, and have it do a global oil clean. You know, that would be a good thing. And then if you want to add the custom menu like I do this game, you know, if it's a small mistake or if it's a game problem that puts the oil and you're like, because I have no clue why that oil's there. I didn't spill any oil. You could go and you could clear it all, you know. I hear some sort of plane. I might take a picture of citruses as we get in here for the screenshot. I might do that for the. I'll do that for the. We'll make a declarative statement. I'll do that for the challenge winners. They'll get a screenshot of the thumbnail. So we'll do one as we come in here. So let's do it right about there. All right. I prefer the driver's side. I don't know. Nah, it's a little smoked out right now. Do the passenger side like this. There we go. Get a little bit of containers over there. All right, nice. All right, so that'll be the new screenshot for this video here. As I do the winners builds, I'll go ahead and put them in the as the screenshots. I told Mr. G I'm gonna do another video with his build. You know, I was gonna reach out to everybody because it was, you know, post pressure and make sure their stuff was working right. I did not reach out to him. Didn't have anything to do with pressure, but he had that issue with the wings clipping. He had never had that issue before, so I'm gonna do another run with his anyway. Yeah, I really like this truck. This truck works really well. Trailer, like, it drives really well on the highway. Sometimes, you know, oh, this is what he's doing. Okay, I see what he's doing. You see he's got these sideways grippers? That's how he's locking it in place. I get you. So that's why these are not locking these side ones. Gotcha. Very cool. All right. Drop this badge on. So we got $2 grand for that, Johnny. All right, see if we have another one. I'm going to save real quick. What are we? 14th already, huh? All right, good. So we're saved up. Let's go ahead and we will look for a container back. Spock Hex right there is a 3. Might be our only one. Let's see. Not too bad. 5 grand's not too bad. Alright, good. We'll take that one. Let's up. Didn't check this one. Alright, yep. So we'll grab this one here. Yeah, that was what I was hearing, was the helicopter. Alright, so we'll hook up to this bad Johnson. Did I shut this connector off? Let's shut these connectors off. Okay. Alright, and let's just get it backed up. So, you know, like I said, the big testament to this is how well does it back up. That tells me if the transmission's useful. Like, for example, we got some Kenworths, some T800s, and they were absolutely miserable to reverse. They are very jerky, and so it's, you know, reason I get 9 million. I don't like an automatic, but you know, it's a good testament to the transmission that I can back up, you know, while I'm in first person using the mirror, and I can put the trailer right where it's supposed to go, you know. You know, like, it's got a little bit of a jump there like you would have IRL because, you know, you have a lot of torque with the trucks. You will get a little bit of a jump. That's perfectly natural. But like you can see, I can put this right where it is, even this with the low pixelation monitor, right where it needs to go. And this is a pretty short trailer. You know, the shorter the trailer, the more quickly it will move on you. So it's a little bit more challenging with a short trailer. The longer the trailer, the easier it is to back up. Actually, we're a little bit off there. Let me see if I can fix it. Yeah, we should be able to fix it here. So, you know, real good testament to the transmission and the motor and the application of the clutch, and this is really good. I don't have... There we go. Okay, good. So we're connected, all in first person. You know, that's a good testament to the transmission and the engine running really well in this, that I can do that all from first. You know, right on the money. Like, you know, the container got dragged a little bit, but not much. Yeah, and the only thing I'm not thrilled with is like how that just dangles off of there, you know, and that you can see that would cause problems. Like, see, it's hanging up a little bit. You can see that's causing problems, you know. That's why I went with a tilting table. Like, you could do a hook lift on this trailer. Like, not that this mechanism's bad, but like you see, of course that would be absolutely insanity to do IRL because that's a lot of weight and you have a very short lever arm. You know, the lever arm was all of like, you know, I don't know, quarter of a meter, more than that, probably half a meter long. You know, so doing something like a hook lift on this, I think, would be helpful, or tilting table on the trailer. You know, that way you're not having to, you know, you're not lifting it like that, but it works. All right, good. So we're all set here. Let's get out here. I'll make sure I grab the right one. Spot hex. Yep. All right, good. Let's go. But really good, well designed truck. I like that the air operates with the 2 air valves. I didn't even do that on my own. You know, good pacing on the gear ratios. Good spread on them. You know, no big jumps. It's smooth and it operates nicely. You know, that was me shifting too quickly. That wasn't transmission. I kicked that gear probably about a half a tack early. You know, some people had a fetish with trying to make race car trucks that could go like, you know, insane speeds. It's like, there's a reason why you don't want a truck going 100 miles an hour. There's a reason why most countries have laws on how fast their trucks can go. Is that's a lot of mass moving very, very fast. You know, you blow a tire, especially if you blow a steer tire, there's a good chance you're rolling over. And if you go sliding into somebody's house and kill their whole family, you know, that's no good just because you wanted to get there fast. So, you know, with a truck, you really want to have some good speed control. You know, you don't need to be going fast. You know, the truck's all about efficiency. You know, you're moving a lot of goods. Even if you're going only 60 miles an hour, you're moving a lot of goods. It's there's no need to be speed racer. You know, a race car is its own thing. I haven't looked at the voting, but I liked all the builds. The points. Of course, the points and Captain's favorite are subjective. It's me doing the points and me doing that. Um, but it's so it's kind of my preferences anyway. But the points were very close. Like it was the difference between Captain's favorite and the points winner. The points winner was actually had one less point than Captain's favorite. But I wanted independent. Winners on this one. Last one, there was only 3, so Mr. G ended up getting all 3. But since there were so many builds, it's kind of silly for me just to have, me pick the same one for 2. So I chose to split it, and the difference in points between the top 2 was 1 point, and then the next person was 1 point, and then I think 2 people were tied for the next position after that, and then there was a little bit of differential after that, but not much. So it was really very close on that. So, people did some really good work on that. I like to see everybody participating in the challenge, and it really, it was neat how everybody solved the issues. Some really cool mechanisms in there. I think it was a winner to have people build their own microcontrollers. You can see there are some people who'd never built their own microcontrollers before, and they did it, and it worked. And it's that was kind of the point of that rule. That was the rule a lot of people were grouching about. But it was, I think it was a good rule in that you don't know if you can do something until you first do it. And then you do it and you realize, yep, that wasn't that hard. What else can I do? And that gives you a little bit of confidence to kind of move on. And so it's, I think it was a good rule, to help people get, realize that, yes, you can make your own microcontrollers instead of just going to the workshop and downloading the same one that you always download. And then it becomes personalized. It actually operates how you want it now. So I think that's even better, It's really cool builds. All right, let us see. So this is, we'll get this back, drop this container off. I think we'll head south. We'll head down to arid biome in the plain. I might we'll probably take the W50 and send it over to the drilling platform, because that takes a while for that to fill, and I'll start it filling, and then we'll probably find another mission to do while the W50 is filling. So I need to do a tweak on the W50. I keep launching it without doing any fixes. What's that? Okay, there was a rock. I was hoping it was a present. Trying to be a little bit money grubbing right now, as I want to get that military base bought, because it's so much easier for me to I don't know. It's not the biggest thing in the world for me to get the military base bought, but I guess I could buy some other things if I need to. But the nice thing is, like, I can despawn the vehicle and put the jet fuel right into the base, and then I can spawn vehicles. But I used the add-on last time because I moved the tug and the trailer up there, and because I had issues, I despawned the plane, and it despawned those. And so the nice thing is you can use the add-on editor to spawn something up there and use that to load and unload. So, again, the customization is play the game how you want to. So it's like if you want to, for example, like if you didn't have a self-loading trailer like this and you needed a forklift to load it, you'd be like, oh, I can't go to Komodo. I can't spawn my container loader. Yes, you can. Use the add-on editor, spawn it. It's free. And so that would be like, and it's easy to RP. Like some people would think of that as cheating, but there's no cheating in a single-player game. And it's, when you go to the rail yard or you go to a shipyard like this, you don't load yourself unless you have like a hook lift type of trailer or something like this. They load you. They put the container on your back, and sometimes they preload the trailers and you lease the trailer. And so like when we went to the rail yard, we don't bring our own loaders. They have the loaders. They load the trailers. They have shifters that move the trailers around the yard, and they drop the trailer in front of you. You hook up to it and you leave. And so it's it's perfectly fine to use the add-on editor to spawn in the lift and then load it right on. So I have no problem with spawning vehicles to then do the work. So I'm going to go real careful here. That's a little bit of a funky. I can't see the contour at all. Like, see right there? The trailer didn't try to tip over. So that was a good balance job Citrus did on that I was able to go up pretty steep of a hill there, sideways, and the trailer didn't roll. You know, so that was that's good work on that. It's nice and low, nice wide stance. The problem with the dualies is I would really like the devs to give us innate dualies. When you do these dualies, the outside tire has no collision, so it's actually your wheelbase is actually reasonably narrow. No, that's not true. The drive wheel of it. So you don't have the drive on it. You still get the rocking stability on it, but you don't have the drive wheel. So you actually lose some drive wheel on that. So you know you theoretically could have issues with powering through on a high bank like that. No, I don't ever release the points. I don't want people bickering over the points, so I never release the points. Like if somebody asked, you know, I don't even like I don't even tell people like if somebody was like, oh, you know, was I close to the top, and I'll be like, yes, but that's about it. I don't like even getting into that. I don't want it to be a point of bickering. Like it's supposed to be a fun challenge. I don't want somebody to be like, how did that build get, you know, 2 points more than mine? You know, I don't want that sort of shit. You know, and I also don't want people like just going after like the points either. So it's, you know, at the end of the day, you know, build the vehicle you want. You know, winning's not everything. That was like I used to love to participate in the challenges. Like I've never won a Jersey challenge. I participated in most of, or a lot of them, and I really didn't care if I won. What I cared about was, you know, if I got in the video, that meant that the people in the community voted for mine to go to the video, and I didn't really care if I ever won it. You know, it was. And I wanted my vehicle. That's, you know, one thing I'm afraid of people doing too is like they try to, you know, precisely, they don't take any risks. Let's put it that way. I want people to be able to take risks, and yeah, that you may not quote unquote, oh shit, you may not win, but you took a risk, which I tend to give people some points if they take a risk, because it's you know, that's something that can pay off, or it's something that can't. So if like you do something cool that's risky, you know, I want people to feel like they can do that. I don't want them just hunting for that elusive point and they're not taking any risks, you know. We got reindeer in the drink all over the place. So the despawn area, I think, is actually up here. Yep, right there. All right. Yeah, so I never publish the points. I'm not going to. It's last thing, you know, I've only ever kicked like a handful. I would say I can count them on one hand the number of people I've kicked off Discord, and you know, 2 of them were bickering about the build challenges, and it's like they're ruining the fun of other people being in the build challenges, and that's the absolute last thing I want. Is they're supposed to be fun at the most, you know, and so it's one of the reasons I don't release the points. Look at that one hanging like that. Defies belief. Yeah. This is probably gonna get hung up a little bit because that's a lot of weight on those. That's a lot of weight sitting on there. You can imagine that's squeezing it in, so I'm just gonna dump it. Because yeah. You know, like for example, like if I saw that in the challenge and people like hanging things off unrealistically, you know, wasn't necessarily my favorite system, but yeah, that's the thing. Is it's, you know, I don't want people hunting for the points and be like, oh, if I, you know, if I do this, I might be able to shag a point. You know, the easiest way, if you're trying to get points, is to have a reasonable looking workshop page. Like, and reasonable doesn't, and I don't even mean looks. Like, a big thing for me, why did I put on the workshop? One, people put a lot of effort in their workshops. They should get some credit for it. You know, that's something that, you know, you see a lot of time people put a ton of effort in their workshop page, and people would never even look at their workshop page. And it used to drive me nuts. Like, you'd see in people's comments, they'd comment on somebody's build. They're like, oh, how do you do this? And it's literally right up there in the instructions on the workshop page. So that person took the time and effort. And Steam is not always the easiest to format and to get the format to look right. Especially like putting in embedded pictures can be a pain in the ass. Putting in GIFs can be a pain in the ass sometimes. And so the people who put the effort in, to the workshop page, one, I want to recognize that, and two, if I get in situations where people don't put any instructions, and it used to annoy me because I would do build reviews, and I remember there was this one guy, I forget who it was, I won't say their name anyway, but they put like barely any instructions, and I tried a couple times to just like figure it out, and then I was like, yeah, if you want me to review your build again, you got to put some instructions. And so it's important for me, especially if I'm reviewing, I reviewed 14 builds for this challenge, that you have some instructions, so that I'm not like wasting time groping around I'm going to try to do it with this right mirror. I can't see, it's fine, I can't see the trailer, but it's hard in game, but like IRL, you'd make it so you can see a trailer. But, they wouldn't put any instructions, and so I had like one, I think, that didn't put any instructions, but it was pretty straightforward this time. And so part of the thing with me, like, you can get as much points on how your vehicle looks as your workshop page, and part of the reason is I want you to put some instructions on there, to show me how to work your build, because it's a big time waster. Is like, I review everybody's builds. Most people don't do that. Like, they'll take the top 5 and review the top 5. I review everything. And it took me, I'd say, 12 hours to make that video. And so that's why, I kind of am a stickler for the workshop page, is if you put good instructions on your workshop page, it makes it a breeze for me to go through it. I can read your instructions. I can quickly go ahead and use the build. And I know how everything's supposed to function, and I don't feel like I screwed your build up. Like, that used to happen in Jersey challenges, where I would make sure I'd fill out the workshop page and make sure I put really clear instructions. And sometimes he would review it and he wouldn't really follow the instructions. And it used to annoy me because, I put the instructions on there, dude. It's not my fault that you didn't follow the instructions. And sometimes people will put no instructions. Well, if you don't put any instructions, it's not my fault that I didn't follow the instructions, because there weren't any. And so the easiest way, if you want to get some points in the build challenge, is the workshop page. Is if you have a fantastic build and you have nothing on your workshop page, you're going to lose a lot of points in your workshop page. And so it's like, you can really gain some points by having a good workshop page. And that's also like, not that I care too much about how many people download my workshop stuff, but if you want people to like download your stuff, having a good thumbnail, like the stuff I put in the workshop that has some of the most attention is the ones with a GIF in the thumbnail, because people like shiny objects. They're like birds that way, and if you get a nice flashing GIF in your thumbnail, people will click on it, And so it's little things like that not that it's necessarily the most important thing, but it shows some effort, and that's a big part for me. Because if you have a new builder and they're not great at microcontrollers, they're not great at making things look really good in game yet. They can still do pretty well if they have a good workshop page. And so that's a good way to get some points. So the challenge is, if you're looking for a good, if you're looking to get a couple extra points in the challenge, go for the workshop page. Make sure it's clear instructions that I can read in a list. You probably noticed by this point, one of my pet peeves is when people put instructions in a paragraph. It's very hard to find. I'll bring up an airplane flow here. Let's see. Nope. Brakes. Do I have a brake on this? I don't know what I have on it. I don't even have a brake on this. Okay, I don't have brakes on that. So here, let me see if I can find a ERJ 145 flows. Alright, so here's a good one. This is, these are the flows for the Embraer 145. So if you look at this here, it says APU bleed closed, shed bus auto, fuel pumps 2, on tank 1, crossfeed low 2, APU master on for 3 seconds, start on. Monitor EGT and RPM, generator on at 95% for more than 7 seconds, verify 28 volts. APU gen overvolt 400 amp, to 500 amp, bat 1 off, 400 for 3 minutes. No ignition at 30%, de-energized, 5% swing start. GPU disconnected, shed buses override, APU bleed open after 3 minutes, cross bleed, then both packs. And so this is a good checklist that, for example, if, let's say I do APU bleeds, I close the bleeds, I do shed bus to auto, I do fuel pump to on, and then I get distracted. The flight attendant asks me a question. I can turn around, and I can come back, and I can read this really quickly and easily and find my place. Be like, I can, we used to have a rule that if we had a if we got interrupted during a checklist, we would start the checklist over again. That was our rule. And so, for example, if I got to here and the flight attendant interrupted me, I would turn around, talk to the flight attendant, and then come back, and I would start over again. APU bleed, I'd verify close, verify shed bus to auto, fuel pump on, APU master, and then you'd go again. Some people on their workshop pages they'll do a paragraph. And so you imagine that now that's in a paragraph. How hard is it for you to find your place in a paragraph? It's like if somebody interrupts you while you're reading a book, it's hard to find your line again. It's easy to find your line again in a list. So it's like stuff like that is why I put, it's equal points for the workshop page. I want people to take the time and do that because it is helpful to me. It is important. It makes it so that people can use your build. Because the other thing, too, is some people will get in there, they'll use your build, and if there's one little issue where they can't figure something out, guess what they're going to do? They're going to run right to the comment section, ask you, hey, man, how do I turn on this? And you're like, if you didn't put anything there, it's a valid question. If you did put something there, it becomes an invalid question. You're like, dude, read the rules, or read the checklist. Checklist is there. Jet? What? Oh, I have the... I was wondering why. I was like, I'm not out of diesel. I have the Bowser in the back, or the pallet in the back here. I don't want the autosave. I want this one. I had the jet fuel in the back. I still do. Okay. Let's get rid of this. This shouldn't be sitting in the back here. I was wondering why it was giving me the fuel warning. I'm like, I should have enough diesel. The last thing I want to do is move jet fuel back down south. Trying to move all my jet fuel up north here. Yeah, but that's that's one of the best ways to get some points if you're looking for it is to work on your workshop page. Make sure it's readable. Yeah. And that's why I'm a stickler. Is from that aviation experience. A good checklist makes it really easy. A good flow makes it really easy to figure out what you're doing next and to remember. Like, I can still see some of those flow lists in my head. Like, I'm trying to remember. Let's see. Engine fire 1, 2. Identify, verify. Engine 1. Start, stop, lever, pull. Do not rotate. If fire persists, rotate, handle, bottle A. Fire persists, rotate, handle, bottle B. That was, oh, Jesus, many years ago now. It's 15 years ago, and I still remember it. And that's because the list was in a manner that I can remember it from all these years ago. And so that's why I'm kind of a stickler on that stuff. Bowser, not Peach, yeah. I should be able to, so I fixed the overheating yesterday. I should be able to turn engine overheating back on and vehicle damage come back on. How's it going there, Basilisk? Good to see you. Positive rate, gear up. Like, I still remember the flows for the RJ145. Positive rate, gear up. Select speed 200. Greater than 200 knots, flaps up. Climb checklist. That's again like 15 years ago, and you remember it because it was done properly. It was done in a way where you remember all the flows and the lists. That's kind of why I do things the way I do them. Is it's proven over decades and decades that sort of stuff works for people to remember. So if you didn't watch yesterday, I supercharged the engines and I went through and played with, what the hell's going on here? What's this liquid? What is that liquid? We're not, just make sure we're not pissing fuel. Okay, we're not pissing fuel is all I care about. As long as it's just a visual glitch and we're not actually pissing fuel, I am thrilled. I've had that happen in real life when I was a flight instructor. Is the the fuel cap, not gas cap, fuel cap. The fuel cap got left off on the top of the wing, and it pissed out fuel for a little while, but it doesn't, it blows out maybe half a gallon, then it stops. Because you get that low pressure on top of the wing, it just sucks the fuel right out. It actually doesn't suck the fuel out. The increased pressure inside the tank blows the fuel out. But top speed here is about 186, which is good. Not reading temp 2, so I got to check that out, why that's not reading. I still need to do the indicator. I haven't done that yet. So there's our base right there. But I'm enjoying this little plane. It's working well. Like to make, I don't know why it's pissing liquid there. I know some people report that issue all the time. I've really never had it. I'm getting it now though, it's weird. I do like the Awk. The Awk looks really good. That came out good. I'm pleased with that. November 6-7 Alpha Uniform Kilo. Let's see if we can, here. Alright, we're going to do this 2,400 feet. Let's see if we can do it here. Nose down, gain airspeed. Pitch up. Kick the rudder. Push up. Kick rudder. Push up. Kick rudder, kick rudder, kick rudder. Drop the nose, drop the nose, drop the nose. You need to kick opposite rudder there on that one. There we go. A little bit of a aileron snap roll there. This plane is not designed to be doing those. That's why it was a little bit sluggish going over, but like a lot of people don't realize how much rudder you use. Like you can literally roll the airplane with just the rudder. If you do that's a snap roll. If you kick the rudder all the way over, you will snap the plane, and it does it instantly. I've done one snap roll on an aerobatic 150, and it was over and back in less than a second. All right, props coming in. We got gear coming down. Flaps are coming full in. We need to counteract the balloon. We need throttle, throttle, throttle. Prop is coming in. Prop is coming in. Okay, there we go. Start cutting some thrust back here. Prop comes in a little bit slow, but I want to be able to fine tune my prop. That's the one thing that kind of there are ways to do it in game, but like IRL, I can push the thrust as fast forward or as slow as I want. In game, it's a little bit different. Like my speed control right now is pretty good. Like I'm able to keep it real tight where I want it, which is nice. Now we're going to land just past the road because it gets a lot less bumpy there. So right there. There we go. I don't want to chop in too much. I want to keep power up, power, 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 power. There we go. So it started to sink too fast, so I gave it fed it a little power. And there we go. That was a little bit of a clunk. I had no reference. You notice there's like no shadows? You get that problem in real life. Like, if there's no shadow or there's no contour detailing, like even that little line there you see on the dirt over here, that little line shows me how the terrain's going. This is completely flat. I can't see that. So like if I had a shadow going across it, I could tell how far it was from the ground. That's actually a problem that seaplanes have issues with, is if the water is glass, like if the water is completely smooth, you can't tell how far you are from the water. If it's a little bit of waves, you can start to see it. So like they want just a little bit of ripple so they can see the contour of the landing area. Because I completely lost the contour. Yeah, glassy water is scary. This is like you get that with we used to, I used to ski race, and the issue was at a certain time of day, right around twilight, it would get real flat, and there was you couldn't see the contour. And we were doing a race, and then we had free time after the race, and so we were skiing as a pack of us, and there were 3 headlands, and so 3 big bumps, and we went off the first one going like 45 miles an hour, and it was like a 12-foot drop, and then we all went airborne, and then we landed it on the next headland, and it was another 12-foot drop, so it was like drop, land, drop, land, drop, land at full speed, full tuck, and we couldn't do anything about it because we couldn't see it. So we luckily nobody got hurt. We all landed them fine, but it was like couldn't see it because it was that real flat light. That's why, like, flying, we'd rather have twilight. We'd rather have night than twilight because you could see a lot better. But nice. Alright, good. So let's put that away. We'll save up again. Alright, let's go. I'm going to do a backup. I haven't been doing a backup of these, and I should always do a backup. So the one thing I'd recommend to new players is back up your vehicles folder, back everything up. A lot of people, it must be a generational thing now, are completely like over-reliant on auto cloud saves. And they complain that this game doesn't have cloud save, but it's like, back your stuff up, people. It's a big, big holy shit if you lose all your stuff here. All right, let's read some chat here real quick. Yeah, it's not a big deal, Zachy. Like, you don't lose that many points for it, but like, if somebody gives me nothing, there was one person who gave me pretty much nothing, they get pretty low in the points. It's almost like bracketed. So like if you have the best workshop page out of everybody, you're gonna get a 10. If you have a really good workshop page, you're gonna get like a 9. So there might have been 5 9s, 1 10, and and then if yours is like kind of, I don't know, mediocre, or if there's something annoying, like I said, like if you have your instructions in a paragraph and it made really hard for me to I had to keep going back and reading your instructions over and over and over again. You might get a 7 or an 8, and then if you have like a really terrible one, you might get a, if you have nothing, you get a 0. If you have, if you have like something on there, you'll get like, maybe a 3. So it's not like ultra precise on that, but it's kind of bracketed. You don't, it's not that huge of a deal. See. Have you set it to blend aileron with rudder? It's not a... It's kind of. Let me show you how I do it. So the whole thing is IRL. IRL, the upward wing wants to go faster than the downward wing. And so it will naturally turn you. Like, for example, if I'm in a twin-engine airplane like this, I need almost no rudder to turn. When you're in a single-engine airplane, you need to coordinate all your turns with rudder. You still have to do it technically in a multi, but you do very little rudder in a multi-engine airplane for coordination. So when you're doing a turn, all you do in a multi-engine airplane is you just bank. And that upward wing naturally wants to go faster than the downward wing, so it will turn you into the downward wing. So in-game, I simulate that with generally a tilt sensor input. So if we look at right here, we have the rudder control. So where is it? Rudder control. How the hell did I miss it? There. So here's rudder control. And what I do is I do a tilt sensor. So I just do, in this case, physics sensor channel 16. I tune the auto rudder so that it feels natural to me. And so then what I do is I take the gyro yaw. So if I had an autopilot, what I do is the autopilot will take in the seat, and it will add the autopilot's input to the seat so that I can over-control the autopilot if I need to. And then it goes to the gyro after the autopilot, and then it would come here. But generally, if I was doing that, this would be in the autopilot. Since this doesn't have an autopilot, it goes seat to gyro into here. And so this will automatically add, as I bank more, in real life, the more I bank, the more that upwing wants to turn me. And so because the more I bank, the more that upwing wants to turn me, I automatically add some yaw so that it behaves like it would in real life. So, you know, it's not to take the coordination away from me, it's to make it act like it would in real life. So like for my single engines, I still have to do rudder on my single engines. It will add rudder, but that is just to simulate the natural turning tendency. So that's how I do it. So it's real simple. Just I do it by tilt, because that's how it be in real life. The more angle you're getting, the more you're gonna be turning. Speedster, radio for help, 9 grand, 3 casualties. All right, let's go do that. That is a sheer cliff face, I believe. So we got to keep that in mind. Because I was gonna take a car, but I can't get up. Can't necessarily get up there. And let's go ahead and take our little boat. Actually, that might Oh, I'll shut overheating off. Could take Brigeau again. Yeah, let's take Brigeau again. I was enjoying using Brigeau again. I hadn't used that in a while. It's nice to use an old doggy. That was fun to use it. Let's do this real quick. I think I made a change to the plane. I didn't save it. Okay, it's a little bit too wide. Screw it. I can fix it. I just took the pallet out was all I did, so. Alright, there's Rizzo. It was back when a lot of my naming was gods. Still do it sometimes, like especially when it's a big beast. Triton's named after a god, Rizzo. Proteus. Usually what their job is too, like Triton's a sea god, this is a sea god. I think this was like the this was like a sea god that protected mariners, so this is a rescue boat, so. Turn the APU on too. I was having some power generation problems for some reason. I need to tune the APU on this. Yep. What's up with this? Why is that not running? APU doesn't want to run right now. I don't know why. This one, because we have fluid port issues, the raw water cooling is not going to work, so just shut overheating off for the moment. I back up my vehicles pretty much at least every 2 days. I have a portable hard drive. I just stick them on. So, you know, that's the #1 thing you can do to kill frustration. You can imagine how miserable it is if you lost like a week's progress on something. You know, so you lose a day's progress, it still could really suck. But I try to back it up every day if I can. If I make a lot of changes, if I'm not like doing a ton of building, or I made a tiny change, I don't bother backing up. But like I have dozens of copies of my vehicle folders. I also have every vehicle I've ever built is on those, so I don't delete my vehicles unless it was like a test and I decided not to go forward with it. Now, Brigeau is a really good rescue boat. It's, you know, 46 knots. It tows well. Very versatile. It's good all-arounder. I think it actually has quite a few subscribers on there. I need to update it. Somebody was saying that it hasn't they had an issue. I have the most recent version, so I should play with it a little bit, get it updated. I'm not going to update it until we get some sort of resolution for the cooling issue, which is just, I think, the fluid ports. That would be what I would call it, is the fluid ports. Presently, they're just pulling 10 liters per second, which is not enough to do cooling. So frankly, that's not working. Oh, that's good. Rasmus says auto backup. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of people constantly like just putting their unfinished stuff in the workshop just as a method of saving. It's really not fair to Steam. And to the, you know, I don't know if the devs have to, if the game itself has to pay for that storage, but The problem is eventually what could happen is they're like, we're spending too much on storage, you know, and they'll either restrict it or they'll start trying to charge for it. And, you know, I think it's that abuses the system if people use it as their own personal backup system. Like, you know, so not a huge fan of that. That's a good way to get Steam to eventually be like, nope, we're not, you know, we're not doing constant backups. You know, so I don't think that's a good I don't think that's a good thing. That's a good way for them, for it to get spoiled, you know. I think that abuses the system. Like, some people literally just use it as their own save file, and it's not a good thing. It's a good way for them to eventually get wise and be like, nope, we're going to take that away from everybody. So, don't think that's a good idea. Because, you know, they'll end up doing something where we have to pay for storage or something, which, you know, not good. It was 4. 3 or 4. To look. Jump. There we go. Double jump worked. I thought it was a fire there. This is nice too. I have the fire hose, so I've been kind of waiting to have to use the fire hose. Let's see, it was 3 or 4. 3. All right, we're good. We're outie. We are outie. Oh, I have them synced. Okay. Yeah, I figured Citrus was gone while I was using his build. I figured that was my luck. Yeah, just adding rudder with bank. Pretty simple. Yeah, I don't know what it is here. Let's see. I used to know the conversions Celsius to Fahrenheit in my head, but I don't know anymore. 34 Fahrenheit now, so. Oh, what's that? 5, 6 Celsius, something like that? I can't remember. Let's look. Let's see. C to F. 34. No, 1 degree Celsius. Okay. 6 was a little bit over. Yeah, it's 42. Yeah, makes sense. It was funny. We used to have, you know, there were captains that loved talking to the people. I never liked to talk to the people, so I'd keep all my communications short. Like, the people don't want to hear from you. They're trying to relax back there. They're either trying to take a nap, they're reading a book, they're watching a movie. They don't need to hear from you. So it's self-aggrandizing as far as I'm concerned. And so, like, some of the captains would try to, because all of our weather came in Celsius. And so, like, you know, we would get all our info in Celsius, and so then they would try to convert it Celsius to Fahrenheit, and they would screw it up big time. And I'd be like, dude, are you serious? You just said it was 43. You just said it was 43 Celsius. Are you insane? And they'd be like, what's that? Like, that is like being in an oven, dude. And so I would read the weather to people in Celsius. I'd just give the temp to them in Celsius. I wasn't going to convert it. I'm like, what? Why? I'm like, nobody cares. I'm like, I was going to read them in Celsius. And it's 15 degrees Celsius in Chicago. We'll see when I get there. That's it. It's like, I'm not converting it. Screw that. If they really want to, they can look at their phone and figure out the weather. Not the weatherman. Let me see. I'm just reading. He went to bed and had his nap. He had his nap during my using his vehicle. If you push the left pedal, does the plane yaw left? Yes and no. It will. Yes, left pedal will make you yaw left, but what's going to happen is the airflow over the side of the plane is going to try to push it back straight. So, like, if you just kick the rudder to do a turn, it's going to kick you right back, and it's going to make you uncoordinated and uncomfortable. You want to bank and coordinate. So you bank to turn, you don't rudder to turn. You know, you don't do rudder turns. It would be the most uncomfortable shit. Like, when I see people in, like, Star Citizen, or in this game, doing yaw turns to turn, I'm like, I just want to puke. Because it would make you want to puke all day long. When you're in an airplane, like, think of it this way. It's like in a car, if you took a turn too hard, right, you get flung to the outside. That's what's happening when you're uncoordinated. When you're coordinated, you bank, and then you coordinate with the rudder to keep your the rudder ball and your turn slip gauge centered. That's coordination. That's your turn slip coordinator. The coordination part is your rudder coordination. And so the ball is simulating you, right? You want to be in the middle, and so you always want the G-forces going straight down, pushing you into your seat. You don't ever want to feel like you're being flung either inside the turn or outside the turn. You always want to feel like you're always just being pushed into your seat. And so, like, it used to drive me nuts as a flight instructor when we were uncoordinated, because, you know, when you first start flying, you can't feel if you're uncoordinated. As a flight instructor, like, it was just brutal. Like, you could always feel when you're uncoordinated, and it felt like somebody was pushing you in the ribs. And so you'd be like, coordinate your turn, coordinate your turn, coordinate your turn. And then you'd be like, if you don't coordinate your turn, I'm gonna, and you like do something, like you do some punishment for them. But it was like, it'd drive you nuts if they didn't coordinate the turn. And so, like, especially for a private pilot, the most common words out of a flight instructor is rudder, 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 because they didn't have the plane coordinated. It was just miserable. Like, you constantly felt like somebody was pushing you in the ribs. And it was like, will you coordinate your turn, please? And so that was like the pet peeve of all flight instructors, was people not coordinating. Because it feels like you're just getting flung out of your seat, like you're falling out of your seat the whole time. And if you coordinate properly, it feels like you're just, like, you could be at 90-degree bank coordinated, and it feels like you're being pushed in your seat. It doesn't feel like you're falling over. You know, I've done rolls before where you never feel like you're coming out of your seat. If you do a roll properly, you always stay in your seat. You never fall out of your seat. You don't come up against the harness. You stay pushed in your seat the whole time. So, like, when you do a roll, as you come up and over, you pull the elevator towards you, and it will force you and push you back into the seat. So you stay pushed in the seat the whole time. And yeah, so you want to always be coordinated. You always want to feel like you're sitting in your seat, ideally at, you know, 1G. Sometimes you have to do G. Like, if you do a 90-degree bank, you're gonna have to put on probably, I don't know, 1.5, 2 Gs just to maintain your altitude. If you get a really steep bank, like, you could go over 90 and maintain your altitude, but, you know, you need a lot of Gs. You might be pushing 3, 4 Gs to do that. We got 3 Johnnies. Here, let's do the car. You know, like, multi-engine jets pretty much fly with my feet on the floor. They call it a yaw damper. You click the yaw damper on, it just dampens the yaw on there. But you don't really need to coordinate. You have 2 engines going. And so you just bank, and that will turn you. You don't kick the rudder. You usually use a rudder in, like, a multi-engine jet when you're landing. Like, say there's a big crosswind. You come in sideways. You let yourself weather vane into the wind. And then at the last second, you need to straighten the plane out, because you don't want any side load on the gear. That will break the gear. The gear is designed to go forward and back. That's it. Up, down, forward, back. That's the only stresses the gear is designed for. They're not designed to go sideways. If you think about it, right, the gear fold in generally sideways. If you do a big side load in the gear, you can collapse one of the gear. So when you come in, at the last second, you kick the rudder to straighten the plane out and to hold yourself on center line. And you do a cross control to come in there. So it'll be right rudder. Like, say you're weather vaning to the left. The wind is coming from your left. You'll come in at the last second, you'll kick right rudder, and you'll go left aileron. So to drop the left wing and to straighten the nose out with the rudder. And that's cross control. Yep, kind of like a motorcycle. Same thing, you know, you as you lean in a motorcycle, you should feel like you're always being pushed into your seat. You know, that's like sometimes, and then you'll do, like, say I'm in a parking lot, and I want to turn my motorcycle really tight. I still lean the bike, but what I do is I counter lean, so I come up on the right side of my seat, so my bike will lean left and I'll go right. When you're at speed, you can go with the bike. You know, so you can stay, you know, you can lean left and sit left, you know, essentially. Oh shit, this base. Hopefully we don't, the game doesn't crash. There are too many people in this base. This is the one that's not despawning people. I should, like, get a meat grinder out here and just kill all these people, but, wonder if I shoot them in the head if... I'm trying to come up with, solutions there. Wonder if I shoot all these people in the head if they'll just despawn. I feel dirty saying it. Like having a crisp... I'm gonna take a picture of this for my bug report. I'm gonna add this to my bug report here. I always like my grimacing face of my character. There we go. Let's get one like this where we'll do wide angle on this one and see if I can show that there are 9 million people in here. There we go. Yeah, there are 9 million people in this room, and that's caused the game to crash a couple times. They're not despawning, but it's only at St. Alexander's. Everywhere else, they're despawning fine, so... The bug report is in, but as you can imagine, you know, how many people are using St. Alexander? Probably not a lot. You know, a lot of people, for some reason, don't like this beginner base over here. A lot of people don't play career. So, I'll catch up on chat here in a moment. Good, we're cranking in some good money here. Holy mother, what's up? What's up here? Let's get over there. Alright, let's catch up on this chat. Yeah, that's the thing is, people need to back this stuff up, you know? Yeah, it doesn't take that long. It's a good thing to do. Like, I'll do it right now while we talk. It'll take me... We just started here, so... You know, but the other thing, too, is a lot of people will not check how a game works before they, you know, they'll assume it does things. Don't assume. You know what they say about assuming. And so some people will assume that, oh, it must back it up. Why must it back it up? Don't assume. You know, it doesn't take long to check. Okay, ask the question. If you don't know, you know, hey, where does Stormworks back their stuff up locally or on a cloud? And they're like, okay, locally, all right. That tells you right there, you got to back your stuff up, you know. But some people they'll never bother checking how the game does it, you know. And then they'll blame it. So right now it's moving. It's only 1.15 gigs for every build I've ever built in this game, so it's not onerous to put in there. Let's save this up again. All right, good. So let's see what we want to do here. We got a little bit of thick cash there, which is nice. See where we're at here. So let's get the W50 out, and I'll do a couple edits on the W50. All right, and so I want to come in here, and let's see. So here's the engine. I'm going to change the max RPS value up to 25, just because this is a 4-cylinder engine. It needs it, so we'll go ahead and update that. All right, and let's grab the tanker trailer, and we'll go ahead, and I'm going to go stick the tanker over there to fill. I want to get that base emptied from the... You know, I did the drilling tutorials. I want to get those drilling tutorial rigs in here instead and run those. And that way, I can update those as I see fit. Try to catch up on chat while I'm driving. I'm probably just gonna... I might go over the roads. Alright, good. Yep, they definitely sound like the change engine sounds. I like them. Downshifted, or upshifted too early there. Yeah, this only has a 4-cylinder engine. I think it's normally aspirated. Now, maybe I put a turbo on this. I can't remember. Or supercharger, rather. You know, so it's not very powerful, so it has to use its gearbox to get any sort of power. You know, so you have to be able to rev up forces mass times acceleration. So you either have a big honking engine going slow, or you have a small engine going fast to get your power. Trying to read some chat while I'm driving here. Hopefully I don't roll. If I do, I blame you guys. Yep, yeah, just trying to do a yaw turn is not going to happen. The plane's going to weather vane. You know, you have the plane is going with the relative wind, and if you just kick the rudder, it's going to, the wind's going to push you right back. You know, like, it's very hard to do a rudder-only turn. You need the bank. Like, we've shown students that in initial flight training, is we'll kick the rudder to try to make a turn, and one, it's miserable. It doesn't feel good, and two, you know, you turn like crap. You need to roll, and then coordinate with the rudder. Rudder's just for coordination mainly, and for being able to straighten your nose out. I wonder why this gear is running so quiet. Yeah, you can put more fluid ports and you'll get more flow. It's not always exactly double. Like, I've done it before where it was like I had 10 with one and I had 2 6s with the other one, so it only went up 20%. You know, by doubling the space. Because you start getting restriction in the pipe and everything else. So it's I think they're gonna. I would, if I were to guess, they're gonna have to go back and fix the fluid ports. It seems like, you know, it's enough of an issue enough people are having that it's something they would go back and work on. Yeah, so that would definitely be something I think they're gonna go back and hit. So. I stalled. Just putting a little bit of rev in there. Sometimes you'll get that, actually. I would say the W50s, it wouldn't surprise me if they had that. Like, what you'll do is you'll, if you put it in neutral, they might have a throttle on the side, and you can leave it run up, and that way you can actively use it to keep the PTO going if you have a PTO, or just generate electricity. You know, if you have a alternator on there, you can keep your engine revved up. I know some school buses had it like that. Just catching up on chat. Yeah, I don't know how the gyro is extremely slow. It depends. It's all based on your control surfaces, the distance from the, you know, the length of your torque arm, how big your control surfaces are, the sensitivity of your seat, the sensitivity of the gyro. It's all completely configurable. Only warplanes use pitch to turn, I believe. Nope, that's not true at all. Every airplane. You know, they don't go 90 degree and yank it, but the whole reason you're pulling back on the yoke is to maintain the lift vector. You've given more, you've given some of your lift vector to the turn. You need back pressure to increase the total resultant lift vector in order to gain what you've lost in giving some of your lift vector to your turn. So no, that's not correct. How's it going there, FS? Yeah, you can theoretically, if you were perfect, you could not corkscrew in your roll. Let me see if I can get a picture. App roll. It's like a snap roll. I can keep a snap roll the tightest. You still will corkscrew, but I've done a snap roll and I've done one aileron roll. Snap roll is the tightest. This is a good picture to show kind of what a snap roll looks like. That's a snap roll there. Aileron roll, so barrel roll. So like if you look at a snap roll here, you can see. So this is a barrel. Let's see. That's this is more aileron roll here, and this is a snap roll, and then I'll see if I can find a barrel roll. This is barrel roll right there. So barrel roll is what we did. We did a barrel roll because that airplane is not very fast to rotate, and it's designed that way. Again, you can make the planes however you want in game. Is like my cargo planes fly like cargo planes. My sport plane flies like a sport plane. You know, my fighters fly like fighters. When you can roll really easily, that's instability. And it's designed instability so you can roll quickly. There's a bunch of different wing designs why you do that. Like here's some. Go through this diagram, this picture really clear. So like here's a barrel roll. Here's a rudder roll, aileron roll, slow roll. Not really a good pick though. Like a snap roll, you see it's not very accentuated. You still need to do this or you'll lose altitude. The point is you do not want to be losing altitude. As you lose altitude, you're going to gain airspeed. As you gain airspeed, you could tighten the roll more than you want. So you want to come in. If you notice when I did my barrel roll, I put the nose down, gained some airspeed because I'm going to lose it as soon as I pitch my nose up. So I'm gaining airspeed, pitching the nose up. I'm starting the roll, and then I'm going to accentuate it with rudder. And then as I get inverted, I want to push the yoke to keep the plane up, essentially. And then as I come back through, I'm now pulling the yoke back towards me and increasing the rudder again, essentially. So it's hard to describe it. It's easier if I showed you, like I did. But yeah. So those are the differences why. Let me see. Let's see. Trying to catch up on chat where I was. Trying to see if I can find a diagram. It's hard to explain some of the stuff without good diagrams. That was when we were flight instructors. It was all about diagrams. Alright, so let's see if I can do a quick one on it here. I might make my own diagram. Nah, this one's actually pretty good here. This one's pretty good here. Let's use this one. So this one here is level flight. So your lift is directly above your weight here. Can you see my cursor? Yeah. Okay. So then you go into a medium bank turn, and so this is your total lift. This is the vertical component of lift. This is the horizontal component of lift. This is the resultant load. So your load's shifting over here. And so what your total lift is being split between your horizontal component of lift and your vertical component. So in a medium bank turn, most of our lift is still pretty much up, right? But as you can see, it is tipped. The horizontal component is getting some, so the lift is pulling you into the turn. Now, just by basic geometry, right, if you're getting pulled to that side, right, this wing has a longer distance to cover because the circle is now bigger. This has a smaller circle, so like we used to do steep banks for my commercial rating, and you could pin this wing, and this wing would have like zero relative motion because think of it as that's pinned to the center of the circle. Well, the upper wing needs to traverse the entirety of the circle to make the turn. So by just basic geometry, it has to go faster. And so as the lift vector goes in, it's going to pull you in that direction. This wing needs to stay essentially not stationary, but for all intents and purposes stationary, and this one needs to move. So this one has to, by definition, go faster. If you look at a steep bank turn, this is a 45-degree bank. the total lift vector is now split. So we're giving 50% of our lift to the horizontal component. We're giving 50% of our lift to the vertical component. The resultant load is now equal to the total lift. And so what's happening now is you're going to need to add more elevator, because what's going to happen is you've given 50% of your lift away from keeping you in the air. So as you increase the bank of the turn, you need more back pressure, you need more elevator to essentially increase the vertical component of lift, essentially. As you do that, though, you're also tightening the turn. What do they call it? I'm trying to think. Death spiral. Let's see if I can find a death spiral. Death spiral. Good name, huh? Show you a good death spiral here. So here's a death spiral. Oh, graveyard spin. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, death spiral can turn into a graveyard spin. So, like, this is the issue that you have is... So, looking at this diagram again. So, in order to not lose altitude, which you don't want to lose altitude, like when we make students do these, we tell them, you know, lose no altitude. When you do this, most of your lift is still keeping you in the air. So you do need a little bit of back pressure. You do need some more elevator. But you don't need a ton. When you do this, you've given 50% of your lift away, you will lose altitude. You need a lot more back pressure. If you do a 90-degree bank, you need to pull almost full elevator to maintain your altitude. So you need to pull full elevator to do that. If you go over 90, the likelihood is you can use a little bit of rudder to cheat if you go over 90-degree bank, but you can maintain altitude with 90-degree bank. You just need to use a little bit of rudder. But you need full elevator. Your elevator is all the way up in your chest to maintain that, because you're giving so much of your lift vector away to horizontal, you'll have almost none keeping you up in altitude. So that's why you need to increase your elevator as you go. If you did it without increasing your elevator, you would lose altitude. You'd start to spiral down. And so that's when you get into like a death spiral, where what happens is if you do too much bank, you're having to pull your elevator all the way back. It's still split. So as you do it, what's going to happen is as you pull back in your elevator, it isn't just increasing the vertical component of lift. It's not just increasing the horizontal component of lift. It's increasing total lift. So as you pull back on the yoke to try to increase your vertical component, you're also increasing your horizontal component, and it's making your turn tighter and tighter. And so you'll get in a situation where you get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, and you can't get out of it. Or a lot of new pilots don't know how to get out of it. Like I'd do because you get in a spin. Now the problem is in a spin, you do not want to use your ailerons. You leave your ailerons alone. Like we actively make students, like we didn't do spins with students, but we like I've showed students spins, but I've never had them do spins. Like you have to do spins for your flight instructor rating. I've never trained other flight instructors, but you use your rudder to get out of a spin. You do not use your ailerons. You can just leave your ailerons. And so if you got into a graveyard spiral here, where you end up tightening your turn and tightening and tightening and tightening, you'll get some people who try to roll out of it and will get into a spin. And what's better is to you want to kick opposite rudder. So if you're spinning left, you go hard right rudder. If you do hard right rudder, it's going to drop your right wing. It's going to level you out. You don't need to touch the ailerons, and it's going to get you out of the spin. And that's how you do spin recovery. Let's see if I can do a quick video on spin recovery and not screw up my monetization. I'll do just a second of it.
Hey guys,
here.
Karl.
Quiet you. No audio. So like this is the here. Let's see if we can actually see the spin a little bit here. I can't play much of this video, but see how that it drops the nose almost right to the ground? That's a spin. So I've done these many times. See, he's moving the ailerons. That does nothing. He's showing the student that doesn't do anything. You need the rudder to fix it. So I won't play too much of that video before it tries to demonetize my shit. But yes, you use your rudder to get out of a spin. You do not use your ailerons. Ailerons are pretty much useless. Just leave them alone. Kick the rudder. Get out of there. So hopefully that makes sense. Why do you buy weapons DLC? I used it for a little bit when it first came out, but I like building some warplanes, but I just... Like I'm not interested in going just shooting at AI all day. It doesn't interest me. I'd rather do the kind of the civilian stuff. I'm just reading some chat. Read some chat. Yeah, I'm up to 32. I've got 32 gigs on my PC now. 64 is probably coming at some point. Do I have 32? I gotta have 32 in there. I might have gone up to 64. I can't remember. Let me look. Let me look. See what I got in there. Gigs. I've got 32 gigs memory in mine. All right, Zachy, we'll see you in a little bit. Just finishing up some chat. Yep, everything went to plan, Citrus. I did not cut off your tail lights or anything, so went to plan. It got stuck. I couldn't lower it down when I was trying to get rid of the container, but I just disconnected and dropped. So that was the only issue. It got jammed up. Part of the, I was talking a little bit about it with the other guys. Was the, because you're kind of doing a pinch system there, where it kind of unrealistically picks up the container off the back there instead of like dragging it up. It's grinding the two things together, and so it's getting stuck. So I don't know. There are some things you could do, but it works most of the time. It was for dropping it. I just dropped it on the ground, but no big issue on that. Yeah, like if you look, let me see if I can find ERJ 145 PFD. That's what I need Basilisk to build me as a an ILS system. Let's see. So here is the here's the PFD on the ERJ 145, and so here our standard bank right here. So it's about 20 degrees. So 5, 10, 20. I think that should be a 45 right here. And so when we would make our turns, you try to keep them within 20 so you're not aggravating the pastures. I have gone over it, like when I know the pastures are seated and buckled up, but because they could be walking around when you're up when you're up. But you would move. This is your you move your bank notch over to there, and that's 20. So 20 is about the most we would do. Standard rate turn. You don't want to be going more than standard rate turn. The other thing, too, is timings. For example, for when you're doing a hold, let's see if I can do lane hold. See if I can get some diagrams on holds here. So the holds are all based on standard rate turns. So like if you look at the hold, let me see. This is probably the better one here. Like when you're doing a hold, it's based on a standard rate turn. So like right here, say that's standard rate. That's your standard rate right there. And it's based on timing. So the whole point of a hold is to be precise and timed. And so you want to go standard rate because that will give you in a certain number of seconds at a certain speed, you'll come back out. So if you enter the hold fix here and you do a standard rate turn, you do a standard rate 180 degree turn. So you turn around, you'll notice you will roll out a beam the fix. If you don't do a standard rate turn, if you do less than, you'll overshoot. If you do more than, you'll undershoot. And so you want to roll out, after your 180 degree turn, a beam the fix. And then you come in here and the fix is, you don't have the fix anymore. So you need to make sure that you enter the turn here. That's why they keep showing like right there. There's the turn indicator, turn coordinator, is you want to enter in on a standard rate turn. That's why it's important. You notice here it talks about maintaining the correct speed. That's because this is all timed in a hold. So if your speed is off, I talked about, I think in one live stream, JetBlue hit the hold at 320 knots. We were supposed to hold at 200 knots. So they came in at, I think, 320 above us. So our hold looked nice and tight like this. Their hold was enormous because they hit it an extra 120 knots faster than we were hitting ours. And so we could see their contrails above us, and JetBlue had this absolutely enormous hold, and then ATC gave him a bunch of shit for it. He's like, JetBlue, you ever going to slow down? Like, I don't need you taking up all of the East Coast. Because he was literally like, so our holds in the airlines are a little different. We don't do it, we don't time them, we do miles. So, I shouldn't have closed the hold. But like for us in the airline, let's see, plane hold. Let's see if I can bring that picture back up. Okay, so like if we look at the picture again, so like we did ours by miles. So um, we'd ask for 10-mile legs. So from here to here is 10 miles. And so from here to here is 10 miles. And so that would be how you do it. Now, if you're going 320 knots, you're going to be eating that time up so quick, you're going to be going zip. It's going to turn into a circle. It's supposed to look like a racetrack, not a circle. And so if you're going 320, it's going to be this big friggin', racetrack, a big circle instead of a proper racetrack. So kind of interesting there. But there are a bunch of reasons why, like for example, overbanking and stuff. Like if you don't know how to overbank, you can easily kill yourself. Like I can easily do I could do a turn over 90-degree bank and not have any problem with it. But if you were a new pilot and you did that, you could easily death spiral yourself right into the ground. That's why they have that's why they have rules. You're not supposed to go over 60-degree bank unless you're in an aerobatic plane. I see what you're saying now. Let me see. I'm trying to read more chat here. I'm trying to catch up where I was. Let's see. Yep. Okay. It was Tanum's comment about that. It's not for altitude loss. It's for passenger comfort. Yeah. Yeah. You don't need to worry about altitude loss. You just give it some elevator. I won't say this one, but somebody may have gone over published maximums for bank in a large airplane, but it wasn't me. But yeah, you can go 90 degrees in an airliner fine. You just need an absolute shitload of elevator and a lot of power. That's the other thing is you need to add power to help with giving you more lift. So you can go 90 degree in an airliner and pull back on the elevator. Eventually, you're not going to have enough elevator to maintain altitude. The way to do that is to increase thrust. The problem, though, is, again, you can get into a death spiral where the turns will get tighter and tighter. But if you know what you're doing, you then kick some hard right rudder. It starts to drop your wing. You then can use some aileron to roll out of it, and it's not a big deal, But again, there are professionals that do these things for a reason, There's a lot to it. The higher the turn degree, you lose more altitude. Not to get altitude back, you should never lose any altitude. As you increase bank, you need to increase back pressure. You need more elevator the more you bank. So if you know what you're doing, as you increase bank, you automatically increase elevator. So you go both left and back at the same time. As you roll out, you go right and you start to decrease your elevator automatically. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of the instructors will tell the students to put their hands on the dash. I never like that. I want your hands on the controls, but I just want you to not, because I don't think it's a good habit to tell people to take their hands off the controls. But you need to understand, stop screwing with your ailerons. Keep your ailerons where they are. It's very easy. You start dicking around with your ailerons in a spin to go inverted. Now you're in an inverted spin. And now you have to really kick that rudder to get a wing to drop, and you're going to have to hold it to get, uninverted, and it's not good time. It's better to not upset it. You'll upset it with the ailerons. You just want to use your rudder. I prefer to do neutral. Your ailerons will automatically neutralize, but I also wanted people to know what it feels like, so you can actually feel the ailerons coming back. So you can kick the rudder, get out of the spin, and then you start to feel your ailerons are back, and you can now start to use them again. Yep, turn coordinator works on steering right turns. Yep. Yeah, like, you know, you can roll an airliner. They're still playing. I've rolled an airliner in the sim many times. It's violent in the sim because the sim goes all the way to one side and then it instantly goes the other side. But you know, they're you know, airliners have really good thrust to weight ratios. Let's see what the 145's thrust to weight ratios. ERJ 145 thrust to weight ratio. Let's see. I could calculate it right now. I'll just calculate it. So like, let's say max weight was 56,000 pounds and change. It was 2 engines at 7,500, so it was 15,000 divided by 15,000. So 15,000 divided by 56,000. So 0.26 thrust to weight ratio. Let's see what Cessna 172 has. Cessna 172 thrust to weight. It's a little bit harder on those, unless they're published, because the way you do it in an airline is you don't, in a jet, is you don't do horsepower or anything like that. You do thrust. So it's how many pounds of thrust you have. So, for example, our engines were 7,500 pounds apiece, so it's easy. It's, you know, 15,000, and then trying to see what Cessna, if it has a Cessna Skyhawk thrust to weight ratio. Google's being real specific. I'm not getting a good number off Cessna 172. Yeah, like, you've got really good thrust to weight ratios on most airliners because you, like, you know, we used to say that the second engine in a multi-engine prop is there to get you to the site of a crash. You can't really fly around on one engine for very long. You know, you'll VMCA it right into the ground. So the whole point of the second engine in a twin-engine airplane, like small twin-engine airplane, is to get you to the site of the crash. In a large, like, airliner, you can fly on one engine all day long. You can't take off with one engine, but you could fly around all day long with one engine, no problem. And so it has enough thrust to weight ratio that you could easily fly around with one engine, no problem. Like, we would fly around if you had a bad approach, you do a go around. Do a go around with one. If you had like a multi-engine, say Seminole, and you were like, it was hairy, you might want to go around. It's probably better to stick the landing because you're not guaranteed to make it around again. Airliner, nope, go around, come back again. You know, you have enough thrust, you can do it with one engine, no problem. So yeah, it's a lot more power in those much better thrust to weight ratios. I can neither confirm nor deny anything, Citrus. We neither confirm nor deny any of this. Actually, I don't think I didn't exceed 60. I did not exceed 60. I made a very specific point because one thing is when you're in an airliner, you have the black box, and if you ever crashed, the last thing you want is what you were doing to embarrass yourself, or your family. So you don't violate the rules that, the hard rules you don't violate. So I did not do any aerobatic maneuvers in an airliner. I can confirm that, outside of the sim. Because in the sim, part of the sim is there to learn how the plane's going to behave. So if, let's say, an emergency happened or something really bad happened, like you had a hydraulic failure, it's nice to know how the plane will perform at, really excessive angles of attack. So you will do it, you'll do it in the sim, but you don't do it in the real plane. Let me get some chat up, jump on some chat here. They get tighter, no, not because of airspeed loss, but it's, you're trying to, I do it without the diagram. So as you bank, right, you're giving the more you bank, you're giving more and more lift to the horizontal component. You're giving less and less lift to the vertical component. So at 45-degree bank, 50% of your lift goes to keep the plane at altitude. 50% goes to horizontal motion. As you go past 45 degrees, more of your lift is going to the turn than it is going to keeping you in the air. So as you go to 90-degree bank, 100% pretty much of your lift is going to the turn. And so in order to not lose your altitude, you need to increase your elevator. And so you're giving yourself more lift, but it's pretty much all going to the turn, and that's why you're getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And then you're starting to get into issues here where, for example, if you're afraid of stalling, you're going to increase your thrust, which stall isn't a speed. Stall's, you know, relative velocity of the wind. But you're going to increase your thrust, and so that's also going to tighten the turn. It's giving you more energy, but your lift vector is still all going to the turn. So once you get to about 90-degree bank, pretty much all your lift is going to the turn. It's not going to keeping you in the air. You know, so that's why the turn gets tighter, is because more force is going to the turn and it goes, the more force you put in the turn, the tighter it's going to get. You know, then you'll get somebody stupid, or I'm trying to put it correctly. You'll get somebody who does something that's incorrect because they panic, and they'll put in a gob of aileron, and now the wing stalls, and they're in a really steep bank, and the wing stalls, and that's how you spin. And so, like, we used to spin on purpose. Like, I've done a couple really accentuated, like, I've done done a couple inverted spins. I did it on purpose. I came up and kicked the rudder to put us over on our back, and then we went over. And the point was, I want to know, can I get us out of this thing if it gets bad? And yeah, you know, the mechanics, the fundamentals still work inverted. You just have dirt all over you now because all the dirt and the carpet goes all over the place. So make sure that overheating's off on this. Yep. This one's using the fluid port, and this one like has one fluid port, so I can't go up on this one. The other thing too is somebody said that the pumps are presently not working, the engine room pumps. I don't know if that's 100% true. That's another reason why, like, you don't want to go negative G or even neutral G in an airplane. Is every bit of crap and dirt and, like, people used to smoke in the planes, you know, ash and all that shit. When you go 0 G or even or negative G especially, all the dirt and the carpet and the seat cracks, everywhere else comes up and it's in your face. And it goes right in your eyes, and especially like cigarette smoke, ash in your eyes is no fun. So, what is on fire? Oh, the outboard. I was like, what is sticking up there? I should have brought Frigeau because it has the fire hose. I was like, I've been trying to use that fire hose in Frigeau, and I grab it quickly, you dickhead. Hit it on the way by. Hit it on the way by. Fuck. Trying to get burned. Frigeau has the suit too. Where the hell? Okay, where did it go? Yeah, that's why it tightens up. So it's, you know, that's why, for example, you know, I used to have a little chatty chat with my students. With like, I know, dude, you want to go out there, you're on your first solo, you want to go do all this cool shit that you've been dreaming about that I don't let you do. I'm like, fight that urge. I'm like, you are in no way, shape, or form qualified to be doing any sort of anything that I have not taught you. It's like, there will be a point when you get that, you know, and you have some skill, but right now you don't have it, you know, and we want you to get back safe, you know. And you kind of say it like that, they realize, yeah, it's probably stupid if I go do some stuff I shouldn't be doing. You know, but, you know, it's kind of a natural thing. You want to go do, I'll go do, like, some, you know, oh, he hasn't let me do more than a standard bank turn. I'll see what a high bank turn is. And that's a quick way to get yourself killed is you do that and you don't know how to recover, you know. Like, if I accidentally stalled a plane and put it into a spin right now, I'd be able to get out, you know. I'd be able to get it out of there. I'd be able to fix it. No problem. You know, even at low altitude, I'd probably be all right. But, you know, you get somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience does it, they'll panic. The first thing will come is panic, and they'll kill themselves. Shit, I do have a defib. I thought I did. I just color it the same as I colored everything else. Is it clear? Okay. Yeah, the other thing that, like, a flight sim can't give you either is the G-forces. You know, a lot of this stuff, like, a lot of stuff will make you dizzy, it will give you a headache, you know, give you a bunch of sinus pressure. You start pulling, like, we had this smartass that was in, at my flight school. He was a student, and he was learning to be a flight instructor, and he thought he was hot shit. And he thought he was, like, he still didn't even have his flight instructor rating yet, and he thought he was better than the flight instructors were. And so he's kind of obnoxious shit, so... you know, he was being annoying one day, and he's like, he kept bugging us to go teach him something. And so I asked the boss, do you care if I go teach him steep turns? And he's like, no, you can go with him. So I took him out on his steep turns, and I made him so green, he was puking the rest of the day. You know, we went out there, we were pulling like, I don't know, 4 Gs. You know, 4 Gs sustained the entire time. I was doing 90-degree bank steep turns, and just made him completely, you know, sick the rest of the day. I made myself pretty miserable, but you know, he was completely miserable the rest of the day, and it was good for him because he thought he was hot shit, and he wasn't, and he needed to learn that lesson before he got himself hurt, and he learned his lesson. He learned his lesson to chill out, and he never said to any of the other flight instructors that he knew more than they did ever again, you know, and it was like. Because again, he still wasn't even a flight instructor, and he thought he was hot shit. And it's like, dude, chill out, you know. And he chilled after that one. He realized he didn't know as much as he thought he did. So. We read some chat. Yep, that's what they always say. Rules are written in blood. There's a reason why they have some of these rules, you know. And you can see it in cockpits. Like, let's see. Let's see if I find the. Like if we look here on the overhead panel, right here, these are 2 little clear plastic flippers. They have a spring here. Those are your engine start stops. The reason they have those is somebody reached up to turn on their ignitions, which, let me find. Ignitions are right, where the hell are the ignitions? Right here. Those are the ignitions, I believe, if memory serves. Those are the ignitions. You only put those on if you're going into really bad rain. And somebody reached up and shut off both engines instead of shutting off the ignitions. So you don't run with the ignitions on all the time. You only do it. You do it on start. You do it in a thunderstorm, or in heavy rain. Not a thunderstorm. You're not supposed to go in thunderstorms, but in heavy rain, you turn on the ignitions, and generally the ignitions only come on for start. And so they reached up, shut off both engines instead of turning off the ignitions. And so now they're in heavy rain with no engines. And they're able to they turn on, the turbines are still spinning. All they need is fuel again, so you just quickly turn it back to on and it'll come right back on. But, of course, it was scary. So what they did was they went back and they put on covers. So that when you reach up and you're busy, because you're in heavy rain, getting the shit kicked out of you in turbulence, you reach up and you feel 2 plastic squares. You're like, okay, those are my engines. Then you go to the right and you feel 2 knobs next to each other, and those are my ignitions. And so that's why things have different shapes. Like the flap lever has a different shape than the gear lever, so that you don't accidentally, you know, because our gear speed was 250. Could we go flaps 1? I think flaps 1 was. I think we could go flaps 1 at 250. I can't remember. I think flaps 1 was 250. You know, so we could go flaps 1 at 250, but like you couldn't go flaps 2. You know, you could go flaps 2, I think, at 220. So you could overspeed your flaps if you grabbed the wrong handle and pulled flaps instead of gear. So, you know, that's why some of the, you know, the knobs are different. And then, like, I can show you the different knobs on like a get on a. God damn it! I glitched in the boat there. I grabbed the ladder. I can show you the different prop handles, but like if you had a multi-engine recip, you're gonna have 2 throttles, 2 props, 2 mixtures, and they all have different knobs on them so that you can feel them while you're landing and make sure that you're grabbing the right knob. Because like if you're trying to go thrust idle and you go mixture idle, your engine's shut off. You don't want to touch your props on landing. You want to leave your props full forward. So see if I can get like a Seminoles. See if I can find a Piper Seminole. An old school one, not that crap with Garmin 1000 in it. Like here's the Seminoles thrust quadrant. So you have, these are your throttles, props, mixtures. So when you're flying and you're looking outside to land, you know that if you have these round, smooth ones, that is your thrust. That's your throttle. That's your prop. They're wavy. Those are your props. And then you have, these are round wavies are your mixtures. So on landing, your mixtures go full forward, your prop goes full forward, and you just move your throttles. If you accidentally grab your prop, that's bad news. You absolutely grab your mixture, that can be really bad news. You'll kill your engines if you pull your mixture all the way to idle. So, you know, that's why they do stuff like that, so that you can feel them, you know. All right, good. Where are you jackasses? Let's go. I have a medi on me? I do. Okay. Come on there, dude. Come on there, Jackie. Let's go there, Bubba. You coming? You coming? Let's go. Reading some chat here. Read a little chat. Try to catch up where I was. Alright, Citrus, you leaving? Oh, okay. Oh, FS left? Okay. See you later, FS. Sorry, I didn't see you leave. Let's see, what do I want to take over there? Let's see. I want to do something different. I have a couple builds I need to fix since pressure, but... let's take that car. It's been working well for me. Take the Vice car. Take the Vice car. Screw it. Vice hasn't made an appearance in a little while. Vice is a 2-seater. Vice is a 2-seater. Crap. That's not going to work. Okay. Take the... I don't know if that's running. Screw it. We'll take the regular car. I don't want to deal with not knowing what's running. I have a couple that just need a couple of edits before they'll work again. So I know this one's been working. I'll make some edits on stuff. I try to keep reading chat while I'm driving. My instructor told me to go on a roller coaster to prepare for G-forces. Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. Is the sustained G's are what make you miserable. Is if you do like you could do a quick 5G turn, and you might get a headache after. It's not bad. You do like a sustained 3G for like, we did like 10 turns in there at like 3.5, 4 Gs. No, I put on more than that. I put on extra Gs for him, but you know, he was pretty damn green after that. It's just miserable. It's constant. You know, it's hard to breathe. It's you know, it's pulling all the blood out of your head, so it's likely you're gonna get dizzy afterwards. So I had to work the rest of the day. He was I think he was supposed to do a flight later that... He had to do a flight later that day, and he told the boss that he wasn't... He told my boss he wasn't feeling well. He had to cancel his flight, and Ken couldn't stop laughing at me because he Because, you know, like I said, the guy was a big mouth, and he got put in his place, so. Did it shut the brake off? At least part. No, it was off. I just put myself in neutral. Let me see. Trying to catch you up on chat as I drive here. Yeah, you do a quick, like, you know, you want to be smooth with everything. Like, you don't want to snap the G's on fast. It's a good way to break stuff. And you don't want to do a lot of negative G's. Like, if you look at, if I can remember the Cessna 150, 172, I think max was 6 G's, and then minimum was like negative 1.5 G's. And people were like, why is the negative so low? And the reason is, like, think about the seat, right? If your seat's sitting on the floor, right, you could put 400 pounds in your seat, and it's not going to break through the floor of your house, right? Now, hang your seat from the ceiling with some bolts. And now hang 400 pounds off of that. It's going to break the bolts out of the ceiling, right? So it's the same thing as the compression strength is really high of the seat pushing on the floor. The bolts that hold the seat to the floor are weak. They'll strip the bolts and pull them out. So it only takes like 1.5 Gs, you know, to rip the bolts out of the floor. And so that's why you had differentials on positive and negative Gs. But interesting. Yeah, 30 degrees in the desert, yeah. All right, let's see. I gotta do some IRL stuff here. So let's probably end it up there. We'll do a little bit of a shorty today. We've got the update tomorrow. I have, should be around for the update, so maybe we'll do a live with the update. Doesn't have, you know, we'll talk about the update, whatever it is. I think it's announcement week anyway, so we'll do that. But thank you. Special thanks to all the members. Side Mountain, Connor Boyle, Danny, Sergeant Chaos, Aaron Repairs All, FS Gamer, Citrus, and Rasmus. Appreciate you guys for being members. If you guys are interested in becoming members, you can look down in the description below. Also, thank you to Chicken Soar for being a patron. If you're interested in that, you can look down in the description below. If you have yet to subscribe and are interested in subscribing, please subscribe. That helps me out. If you guys would comment and like the videos, that always helps with the YouTube's algorithm so that more people can find the content. Thank you guys for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next one.